is the story of a trophy for the world. A journey. A dream.
Hello, viewers out there. Once again, you're welcome to our coverage of the World Cup Qatar 2022. My name is Afa Acho, and with me in the studio today, Salifu Usman is right here as we continue our coverage of the World Cup. Salifu, welcome to today's edition of the show.
Thank you, Alpha. It's always my pleasure.
All right, and of course, Innocent Odo also, after a long time off, is back with us for the first time since we began the coverage of the World Cup. Innocent, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, before we go into analysis of these matches that are already underway, generally, how have you seen the World Cup so far? How has it been? Has it been interesting? Has it lived up to the hype, of the World Cup going into it?
Well, the World Cup is increasingly becoming a successful World Cup, if you ask me, because everything that the host nation needed to put in place to give us a very great outcome is beginning to happen. So we are very, very impressed so far that we have not encountered any hitches so far, and the games have been smooth. Of course, we have witnessed some top flight action, top flight matches, in the group stages, which is about to be concluded. Now, generally, it's a very impressive World Cup so far.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll go straight to our today's games already. France, Tunisia, and of course, the other game, Denmark, Australia, is already underway. I mean, for France already have booked their ticket already to the round of 16. But for Tunisia, it's a must-win game for the Tunisians if they are able to at least overcome the French side today. But notably, French have rested a few of their first-team players, giving way to some fringe players to at least have a feel of the competition. But going into this game, do you think Tunisia stands realistically stand a chance of making it to the last 16?
Yeah, it will be very, very pretty difficult. I think, if I may say it, Tunisia double their chances of hope of progressing to their first ever second round of the World Cup when they mistakenly lost to Australia. They have not been able to lose that much to Australia. I think that's the game they're supposed to have won. Now, playing against a defending champion, and even though you say France have rested some of their key players, every other person that make the France team is also a key player. There's no any just a minor or a free players in the first team. All the first team compared to if you put side by side what Tunisians are parading, they are also very key players. So, but looking at either Tunisia has a chance against the world champion, you can't completely rule it out based on what you have seen so far. The World Cup, there are surprising results that one can never even predict it, but has happened so far. But it will be pretty difficult, if I may say, for Tunisia to get the result against the France. Despite they got the France will definitely go forward. But the best I can see the Tunisia go for in this game would definitely be a scoreless draw, or probably a draw by any scoreline. But I think and one thing is that Tunisia are no longer have their own destiny in their hand. Even though if they win this match, they also mean that the result of the other match between Denmark and Australia go on their side, which may be very, very difficult.
Innocent, like Salif rightly said, sometimes you cannot really predict what happens in football game. France already through to the next round, but do you think France will want to, take a foot off the pedal, or still want to ensure that they finish this group with maximum points?
I think the French team is one of the most, let's say, impressive teams so far that I've watched in this World Cup in their full squad. In this game, the last group of game for them, They have decided to also rest some key players.
Yeah.
I didn't see Mbappe in the lineup, and Olivier Giroud, I don't think I saw him in the lineup. So, but that does not mean that the players that have been featured today will not do well in the World Cup. Some of them might just want to prove themselves using this particular game. So, but for Tunisia, I think it's a very big task for them to overcome this threat from the French side. Because France will have to keep this record clean, maintaining even 100% performance in the first round, which of course will boost their image and their ego going into the second round matches. And Tunisia, yes, is an African team, and we all want African countries to all go to the second round. We already have Senegal there. There's a prospect for Morocco. And of course, Ghana, hopefully they beat Uruguay, which we pray for. And so Tunisia is one team that we're also praying that they should make it to the second round by giving us a great result against France. They have to beat France, not just beating France, but beating France with wide margin. Because so that we'll have to now do the mathematical calculation between the other match between Australia and Denmark. Denmark is also poised to beat Australia in the same way Australia is preparing to also pick the maximum points in order to join France in the round of 16. So it's going to be a pretty great moment to watch at this stage of the competition, going judging by the fact that they are playing the games at the same time. So we expect a very positive outcome for the Tunisians, but I'm afraid it's an uphill task for them.
I mean, uphill task, Innocent rightly said.
If I may add, what will definitely going to make this, just like said, make this game very difficult for Tunisia. It could have even be better for Tunisia if the French have stick with the same team they used to beat Australia, the same team they used to beat Denmark. But now bringing a team, a fringy player, the player will call it fringy players, who also want to prove a point that they have what it takes to make the first starting lineup. So that will definitely make it pretty difficult for the team, because those players are all have something to prove. So, and if you are coming against somebody who has want to prove a point, you have to be full, almost 100% consistent to be able to contest such a person. And if you look at the score so far, the French coach is not yet done with what he has achieved, because he made a business playing with a 4 attacker with just 4 defenders and 1 midfielder. It shows that he has an attacking minded to attack the Tunisian. And if you look at the statistics so far, the Tunisians are having it difficult to contain them on the offense, because they defend the offside. Every goal kick is going to the Tunisians. Every corner is going to the Tunisians. Is going against them. So definitely they're going to have almost full 19 minutes difficult to contain this the French team side. Despite they have nothing to lose in this game, but they want to keep their record straight.
Yeah. Of course, in the other game, which is already also ongoing, Denmark, Australia, and just a quick look at the table, you see France 6 points. For Australia, I think a draw will be good enough to, take them to the next round. But for Denmark, Tunisia, I mean, the Danes, with the kind of players they have, won't be happy to find themselves in this position in a group that has the likes of Australia.
But this is World Cup.
Yeah.
You cannot predict anything so easily.
Yeah.
Because everyone came with their best. Every country is represented by the best. Even the second best is actually some of the best also.
Yeah.
So, yes, they have great names like Christian Eriksen and
Kasper Schmeichel, Christensen.
So great players who have distinguished themselves in their career. But then it is not going to be easy, because this is the World Cup. Every country is playing to protect the image of the country. And somebody described the collection of players in this World Cup as the embodiment of the spirit of their different countries. Yeah. So they have come to showcase the passion and the vision of their country to excel in this sector called football. Yeah. So you don't expect it easy for any country right now. It's already a tough game. It's already a tough moment, and it's going to get tougher as we go to the next round.
I mean, just taking us a bit back, yesterday we had looked at some games, USA, England, Wales, USA, Iran. And of course, just like we predicted, our prediction came a bit true. But for USA and England, it was, a bit easy for England, though the first half was a bit a cagey affair. But the game really opened up in the second half. England taking all 3 points there. For USA also, making it to the last round of 16.
Just like we said yesterday, to me, it wasn't any surprise result yesterday because I expected the three Lions, the English to beat the Wales, and which they rightly do so with 3-0. And even yes, I first commented Iran to be able to play hard against the US team. But the US is always a US, and just like we say that the rivalry between US and Iran is it go beyond the on the football pitch, and so with that at the back of their mind, US will not allow them to lie low against this, and that's what they succeeded in doing, and prove to Iran that we are superpowers. And
it was more like a revenge of what happened in 1998.
Exactly.
When the Iranians had a better part of
US, and celebrated.
Exactly. But looking ahead to the round of 16, we already have the pairing of Senegal and England, which is going to be, a tough encounter. If, for whatever happens for Senegal, will it be a successful World Cup, for instance, if they don't make it past the round of 16?
Well, Senegal has actually set a record. Following the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, and then, of course, later, the Black Stars of Ghana, reaching the quarterfinal have been the record African teams have set. Ghana was to surpass that, but all the drama against Uruguay in 2010 and actually stopped them from doing that. So, but then we look forward to a very great encounter. The Senegalese have confidence. They have a team that is so compact and so focused in their games. So far, it has not been a bad, performance for them. Yesterday they were able to beat Ecuador 2-1 to secure that second round ticket. The only thing, however, is that going into the second round and meeting an English team that is star-studded, it's going to be pretty difficult, but nothing is impossible. The Senegalese are also good. Unfortunately, they have lost their talisman, which is money, and then which would have added oxygen to the heart of the midfield and attack. But notwithstanding, they must find a replacement for him in that encounter, because it's going to be very difficult. Because the English actually have a record going for them. They have never lost any game to any African country. So you can see that record. I do not know whether they were willing to break it now, especially now that they have a very great team that has a prospect of even picking a World Cup this time since 1966. So it's going to be pretty difficult, but we expect a tough game and a very exciting one at that.
Quickly before we go on this break, for Tunisia, France, Australia, Denmark, predictions, who do you think will go through at the end of 90 minutes?
For being an African, I would want Tunisia to join Senegal and Morocco most likely, and then of course Ghana most likely to be in the World Cup. So I want Tunisia to beat France, but we are being. Let us be realistic. It might not happen, but that is what we want. Yes.
Salifu.
Well, sometimes in the game of football, sometimes it's not about what you want; it's about what can you be able to do. Because even as much as I wish, but can you put into test your wit and materialize back into action? And if you are coming to back into action, definitely Tunisia lack that nitty-gritty to back what Africa want them to achieve against the French. But football, you can never, and that's what has made football the most beautiful food sport, because it's because of its unpredictable nature. You can never predict the outcome of football. In as much as you feel that you completely believe that this will win, it can turn upside down and prove to be different. The case of Saudi Arabia, Argentina is a case study. Japan, Germany is a case study. So definitely France has an upper hand, but anything can happen. I see, just like I said earlier, I see this game be ended draw by any score line, and I expected Denmark to come out top against Australia.
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the show. Don't go nowhere.
This is the story of a trophy for the world, a journey, a dream.
Welcome back from that break. Still on to sports update. Now, for other games which will take place much later in the day, will be Argentina against Poland on the one side and Saudi Arabia versus Mexico. For Argentina versus Poland, I mean, dicey game is going to be Argentina. Nobody expected what happened to them in that first game, but against Mexico, a lot of people felt Mexico was a stronger side than the, Saudis, and Mexico might come out to inflict more injuries to them. But the Argentines, I think, were ready for Mexico and inspired Lionel Messi, and Argentina won that one 2-0. And coming against a Polish side who will be desperate to back all 3 points in this one to at least stand a chance of qualification. What do you expect from this encounter? This will be an encounter to look forward to.
Yes, it's going to be very dicey indeed because the two sides know what it takes, to be at the World Cup and give us a very good performance. After the initial setback by Lionel Messi and his Albe Celeste side, they were able to come back to the game and defeated defeated Mexico by 2-0. Now, I think going into this match against Poland, one thing should be uppermost in their mind to be able to pick those 3 points. But they're playing against a Polish side that is also fit and have a very sharp striker like Robert Lewandowski. And of course, you know that he has actually broken the jinx of not scoring a World Cup. The last game they played, I think it was against Saudi Arabia, where he got a goal. So he has been inspired. The entire team has been inspired, and they're going to give Lionel Messi's side a run for their money. I only hope that Messi will find his mettle, will find his magic once again to be able to mesmerize and give this principle what it takes. Because we need Messi. I, for one, I need Messi to prove a point in this World Cup. He missed it the last time when they lost to Germany in the final, years ago. So I think this is his last chance to win the World Cup. If he misses it, I don't think he will appear in the next World Cup again. But that's one thing going for Argentina. This is not the first time they have lost opening games and gone away to the final. In 1990, remember, they lost in rounds of Cameroon and went all the way to the final, but then lost in the 1990 edition to the German side. So let's see whether history will repeat itself today. But they have a very, very big obstacle in Lewandowski and his men. It is not going to be easy because they play high intensity football. And I can assure you, it's not going to be easy for Messi. I just simply hope that he will find a way, wriggle out of this whole, threats from the polls, and then go ahead. Because I, for one, like I said, I want Messi to go past this level. I don't want to see Argentina crash out of the World Cup at the first. But if they lose today's game, I think they're as good as out of the World Cup.
I mean, for Argentina, Poland, when you think about Poland, I mean, the other day talking to a friend, he said for him, what you think about Poland, the only name that comes up is Lewandowski. In as much as he will be crucial and key for Poland, is Poland all about Lewandowski? Is it a one-man team? And they have enough of what it takes, to cause serious problem for Argentina?
Absolutely, I don't think in as much as Lewandowski is a key player in the squad. Every team is not just limited to Poland. In every football team, you normally try to find one key players in that particular team. So there are several teams that have first players, and Poland happen to be one of them. Which Lewandowski is a key player there. But I don't think Poland is all about Lewandowski. But one thing is certain in this match, and I would like it or not, one of the greatest players will be out of this World Cup today. Either Poland win, or end up the Poland or Messi will definitely win out today. So, what is that? The Argentina put themselves in this kind of dilemma. If they have get the result, the result they're supposed to get against the Saudi Arabia, they could have played this last match with ease, just like France are approaching their last match today. But they have put themselves in a very tight corner, and they must be very careful not to be the biggest casualty that will get out of this World Cup. And just like Innocent said earlier, even the FIFA. Football fans across the world will not be happy to see Messi get out of this competition at this early stage. But what is about the beautiful game that, unlike the typical Nigerian politics in Nigeria, is a game that you can't aid anybody. So Messi has to sustain himself to remain in this World Cup. It can never be. Yes, sometimes we fans turn out to question the kind of officiating call that they have been supported by the referee or whatever. But when it becomes obvious, Messi has to stand out to prove that if he deserves to be this World Cup, just like this is his last World Cup. I don't see Messi at the Mexico, US 2026. And if
then he'll be almost 40 or 40 there.
And if he must retire his career with the World Cup trophy and not to go the same way of great players who have never won the World Cup, he must. This is the last opportunity he's have, and just like he did at the Copa America, we try to win the last one. We hope that he can be able to do this one, and he has to prove this game is very key. To me, to him and to the Argentina, this game is more like a more final, and just like the way they approach the Mexican game. But they see the Mexican match as a final, because if they have lost to Mexico, they would have completely out by the competition by now, and that's why they approach the Mexican. That's why the Mexican hold them in the first half, but they were able to hold on the top of the game and get the victory they deserve and to keep them in this competition. So the same thing will go the same way against the Poland today, and definitely it's going to be very key because Poland just need a draw to skate through this competition. And but if Poland mistakenly want to sit back to defend, trap all against the Messi left side, it will be very difficult. But what is that? In as much I am going to foresee that Poland will definitely want to sit back to defend and to call them napping on the counter attack. So and as Argentina want to come to approach, they have to also be careful on their back line, because if Poland succeeded in throwing the game off front for Lewandowski, they will caught napping, and it's going to be a very tricky ties.
Yeah, a quick look at the table. Clearly, Poland has the upper hand, 4 points. Argentina 3, Saudi Arabia 3, while Mexico just 1 point. So, like Salifu said rightly, Poland just needs a draw. Even for Argentina, if a draw might go well, if Saudi Arabia something happens, but it's still very dicey, because if Mexico wins, Mexico too will be on 4 points if he eventually ends. So it's quite tight. So, but for Argentina, I think Argentina would rather want to go for an all-out win.
There's nothing that will save them today except victory. Yeah. That's the only thing that can guarantee them any passage to the second round. Yeah. And then remember, look at Saudi Arabia, 3 points.
3 points, yeah.
If they beat Mexico, they are as good as good as in the second round.
And
it is possible.
And these are some of the team, the organizers of the football, those who are masters of the football, foresee that every competition, the last match is always placed simultaneously, so that the decision of the result of the other guy doesn't inflate it. So you are playing at the same time. You don't know what they are playing the other side. And if you look at it as it is now, if a draw between Mexico and Saudi Arabia, and the other, let's say if the two match let's draw, Poland will skate through, and Saudi Arabia also skate through. But head to head, Saudi Arabia beat Mexico, so they are better than Saudi Arabia by head to head rule.
Yes.
So, but if Mexico win, depending on the Mexico win, Saudi Arabia have a better head rule against Mexico. That would be an opportunity. But just to put yourself in the safer side and not to make anything or competition, you need to win your match and
outrightly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we said, Salifu said something about Lionel Messi, and there has always been this talk about him winning the World Cup. Same for Cristiano Ronaldo. Is it like if at the end of Messi's career he never gets to win the World Cup, does that in any way tarnishes his legacy or put a stain on his legacy as a football all-time great?
You see, football fans are full of expectations, especially for those who follow Messi. Those who have Messi mania, for instance, they call it Messi mania. Yes, there's high expectation that this one great icon of football should in fact cap it off by winning the World Cup. You understand? It's an expectation. I don't know whether it will happen because, like I said, this is World Cup. Every country has come to do battle. No matter how small you think the country is, they have come for war. It's a great game of national interest. Our nation is passion is here. National interest is here. We need to protect. That's why they describe them as the embodiment of the spirit of their nations. They have come to express that embodiment, the spirit of the nation, the character of the nation. So, but for Messi, time is not on his side again. So this is just the last lap. He has to win it, but it is definitely not going to be easy. Even if he crosses past this stage, Remember, there are bigger teams there. You have the Dutch, you have the English, you have the French, you have the Brazilians. Very exciting Brazilian team that I have seen so far in this game. So I think Messi has a lot on his hands. Well, if there is no there's no battle, there won't be victory. So we expect him to pass through all these battles before he can be crowned a world champion. It's a long way to go, but I think we cannot rule him out yet.
And another thing is that in as much as we want to qualify, most of those teams, you also have to calculate the next opponent at the knockout stage.
Yes.
So Argentina need to win this match to avoid France in the knockout.
Remember, France knocked them. There was a friend that knocked them out.
But France is definitely top the group. You see, so Messi has to be. Argentina has to also be capable to avoid France in the next opponent in the next meeting. So yes, you ask a question. You ask the question either if Messi failed to win the World Cup in any other way, then his achievement in the football game. No, but it will definitely weigh him down. There's no doubt. There's always this scene when Messi has never won anything with the Argentina national team. Has never won. Even the same goes with Ronaldo. Until Ronaldo was able to bring that in 2016, before Messi. After Ronaldo break that one, so the Ronaldo fans and the Messi fans say, Messi has never won anything with the nation until Messi was able to achieve that Copa America last year. Now it is the World Cup. These two great players need one to cap it off with the World Cup. And if it happens and none of them achieve, there are some things that even when they come within their group of those who are football great, people like Ronaldo, Brazil, Ronaldo, who have also won the World Cup, there are some limit of the like of the French. There's a limit you can talk. I've won the World Cup. Have you won it? It's a proof. Remember the current Liberia president. There was even in a football match between him and Sunday at the Port Harcourt here, when the attack of the event that get out, have you ever played in the World Cup? And the team way grand way.
Very well. All right. So quickly before we go, any predictions? Argentina, Poland, Mexico, Saudi Arabia. Who do you think? Which of these two teams will make it to the last 16?
I will give the victory to Argentina. Okay. It might be a slim margin, but let it go for Messi. And Saudi Arabia is one team that I also like. The way they play with a very strong spirit. And they also were organized against Argentina. You can see how well balanced they were in the defense. We're able to soak up all the pressure coming from Messi and co. And so, unfortunately, they lost against Poland by 2-0. Like I said, this is World Cup. Anything can happen. They have a chance to redeem themselves. And I think they have a team that has a spirit that will go to the next round. So I give Saudi Arabia a chance, maybe a slim 1-0 or 2-1 victory over the Mexicans to be able to proceed to the next round.
Poland, Argentina is very difficult to predict how the is likely going to be. Because if you follow the history of Argentine teams in the eras of the Messi is also a player that any time that he needed the result most against any opposition, no matter how he press, he always be frustrated to get the result. It has happened to him separately. If you remember the 2018 and the Russia World Cup, the match between against Nigeria, against the Nigeria, the group stage. So both the Argentina needed the win and Nigeria needed the win to get through. But as much as for Messi tried to get the goal, he couldn't get the goal. But he take another different goal to get the goal at the last minute. So, but I may not see Messi scoring this goal in this particular game. I foresee another player scoring the goal.
Right, there you have it. So, match is on for France. Tunisia is on. Well, tomorrow we'll give you a complete review of all the games as they pan out today. Thank you for coming to be with us in the studio today. Salifu, once again, thank you for making another appearance on the show.
Thank you.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow again, stay safe out there. My name is Alpha Cho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.